Welcome back to the Fab Fatties. My name is Rebecca.
Alyssa.
I'm Allie.
And today we are bringing you a little work from home episode, chilling at home episode. I am pantsless. We are doing the least while trying the most.
Honestly, what a fantastic intro.
Honestly,
And
iconic.
you already kind of lied though, because Allie's in your apartment, just in another room.
Allie is in my living room with
But
my
I am
dog.
pantsless.
She's wearing a dress. It doesn't count. I am truly pantsless. And
Show us.
Why are you both doing mascara right now? This is too much.
Because I was not expecting to be on camera looking like this. Me and Allie had a whole plan of dyeing our hair, etc. We have a live tonight on Patreon. Alyssa's not going to join us for live because she's been working all day, and she did book club a couple weeks ago for the live Patreon. So I just thought I'd be able to get ready before then. I'm actually supposed to film some content tonight too, but that's okay. We're here right now, and we're looking like this, and I just needed a little something.
I just did it because Rebecca was doing it and I didn't want to be left out.
So I'm left out?
Well, the thing is, I did it.
That's your own choice.
I did it for 5 seconds. So viewers,
yeah,
you are
Allie
here
will be doing
to
it for
watch
the next
clock.
15 minutes.
You know what? And I'm going to look fabulous.
So what we decided is we had an episode that we recorded last week that went a little, as I like to say, oopsie whoopsies.
It went a little oopsie whoopsies for sure.
Went a little sideways. And because of that, I feel like I need a little gloss now too. Because of that.
God. As I'm still doing my mascara.
Seriously. We've already actually recorded for next week's episode, which we're very excited to share with you. But we still wanted to give you something this week and put out some stuff. So Allie had put up on our Instagram a place for y'all to ask us questions. I had also put up on my profile, and I think y'all did too. And so we have some questions from our viewers that we want to just kind of talk, and it's just a little chit chat Q&A while we hang out amongst friends.
Don't mind me. I'm now using this as a mirror.
Lord. Allie, who's asking a question?
Okay. Allie should have copies of the questions from the other one. Is that correct, Allie?
Allie does. And Allie's finishing her mascara super quick.
Okay, I have questions from mine.
Well, let's get to those first, shall we?
Okay.
Hey everyone, did you know that the Fab Fatties are on Patreon? Yes, we are, and you can follow us for more behind the scenes chaos. We have bloopers, we have Allie raging, we have, me climbing out windows. I don't know, we just have a bunch of crazy stuff over there. Yeah, so you can find us on Patreon. That's
PATREON.com/the Fab Fatties.
PATREON. That's what I said.
.com/the Fab Fatties.
And we will see you over there.
Okay, so the first question is, what are our thoughts on plus size fan art or AI artwork?
Ooh.
Great question.
It is. Great. Okay, so my history, I've actually shared this story on the pod before. My history with it's not even AI, but let's just say someone manipulating images to make their own virtual thing was someone taking my body. I'm only 5'4", by the way. I'm a shorty for the most part. I'm at the lower end of medium height for women. They took my body and they made me bigger than everyone I was with. So I looked like a giant next to them, a giantess, I did not like it. I did not like seeing my body manipulated. I did not like it. And it was a guy doing it, and he did it on a lot of images, and he wrote little captions about what was happening, like, oh, I couldn't get in the door, and
Stranger danger.
Yeah, I didn't care for it. I actually reported it to DeviantArt and got it removed because it was my images of me that He did not have permission to edit, and I realize that's part of being online, but wasn't a fan. So how do I feel about AI images when it comes to plus size form? I'm looking at Alyssa, even though she can't talk, she's not in the room with me. I was looking at Alyssa because Alyssa's been having fun with AI generators lately. I think there's room for cool, fun things with it. I like it more so with the idea of people who don't exist, who aren't true to life, rather than using AI to manipulate real people's images. I'm not sure I like that part, even though I know we technically already have those skills with apps like Facetune, etc., that can like manipulate images, just not to the extent of AI that will literally put them into a different situation than they're in. So what's y'all's thoughts?
I think just on a broad spectrum, I think AI, like other technology, is, a blessing and a curse. And I think it can be used for good, it can be used for evil. I don't love the fact that all AI art is essentially stolen art, because it's just it's a computer program that's pulling images from all the corners of the internet and putting it together in a different image.
They call
And
it composite
also,
images, right? Because like they are
yeah,
taking image references from existing images. Okay.
yes, yeah. As far as manipulating like our bodies, like especially without our consent, no, I'm not. No, no, thank you. No, thank you. I mean, if that's your thing, that's your thing. But you gotta ask people. You gotta ask. That I feel like that's very much a consent thing. Yeah.
I kind of interpreted that question completely differently. I'm a huge fan of art, like mediums, digital art, watercolor, oil pastels, acrylics. Like I think including fat people in art is beautiful, and we should do it and represent. um Rebecca's yelling at me, and now it really threw me off. I don't know how I'm supposed to keep going when you're yelling at me, Rebecca.
You were getting completely blurred out at times.
Did I miss the point of the original question? I'm
No,
sorry.
it was asking about AI art. Plus
Oh,
size
my
I thought
fan
it was
art.
two separate parts. It was like fat art and then
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Plus size fan art, which is where people do fan art of plus size people online, or AI artwork.
Oh, my bad. I did just answer the AI part.
That's
that's
okay.
okay. I really do love art. So I think featuring fat bodies in art 100%, but I think what Allie said is key, is it all comes down to intention, because I think featuring fat bodies in art can also be harmful, and I don't consider AI generated images art. I think I think it takes a human to create art, and I think digital art is art because someone sat there and they created it. But I feel like a computer generating it, I just am like, that's, I don't know,
You
not
know what made me
art to me.
think about that I have done before is those little photo AI things where you can upload pictures of yourself and it'll like show you in different generations, or like
Yeah.
that went around a while ago. Like what would you look like in the 40s and stuff like that. I will say a lot of those AI models don't have fat bodies in them to
Yeah.
pull, and
Yeah.
don't often have like a lot of people of color to pull. And so like it was giving really weird results. So what's interesting about AI is like it kind of exposes bias that's out there. Like, so that was interesting, but I've definitely done it for myself. Like I've used little AI, like make your image look like like you're a professional, headshot. I've done all that, but a lot of them want to make your body thin. Oh, hey, there's my loli. Also, if you're wondering if Allie has any hair on her, it's because of my loli as well.
My loli.
My loli.
Lola.
That's her dog.
Lola, Lola.
So yeah, I mean, listen, I've had people do fan art of me before, and it was cool. I actually used one of them that was from my blog years and years ago as my image still on my class website, as like it's an image of my face. But it doesn't sexualize me and it doesn't create me in a new narrative.
Yeah.
You know, so I think there's respectful ways to do plus size fan art for people you follow online. It's just if you're sexualizing them, if you're doing things with their body size, often for a lot of us, body size is a big way that we've been traumatized. Consider what you're playing with and who you're playing with as you do it.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
I agree with that. I agree with that. And I agree with the fat art. I love seeing fat art. I fucking love coming to your apartment because in your bathroom you have fat art. I fucking love that. I love it. But yeah,
Yeah.
when it comes to AI art, or AI generated images, I do think it's a thin line.
Yeah. I was trying to think if I used to have this illustrator, Tara O'Brien, that I had a lot of her illustration prints up in my apartment, and it was all fat girls doing things, and I loved it. The next one is what not to say to plus size people or how should they be approached?
Oh my God, no, I think we should say one thing that you would never say to a plus size girl.
You're so brave.
That's so flattering on you.
Mm.
The fuck does that mean?
I'm trying to think of what's been said to me that like I'm like, oh, um, I've had people before tell me that I'm photogenic in a way that like makes me feel like, oh, so I'm not cute in real life. Okay, got it. That's not really just a fat girl thing. That's just I don't know, person in general thing. Um, oh, I just don't like when anyone assumes like the way people just say you just need to go out and like walk more or whatever because a really simplistic answer
Eat
to
less, run more.
yeah. Don't do that. Don't
A
ever
moment on the lips, a lifetime on the hip.
yeah, like let's not assume that like anyone hasn't tried that stuff, but also let's be aware that that's not actually an answer that works for people.
Let's not assume that you're the first person in the world that has ever told us to lose weight, that has ever told us to eat less, run more, that has ever told us that we're going to die, that has ever told us that we need to do this or do that or do this or do that so that we fit into your narrow-minded fucking bullshit. Let's just stop assuming. How about that? And also never tell me that I have such a pretty face.
Hmm.
I mean, you do have a pretty face, but you also have an amazing body.
I mean, I'm the full fucking package. Yes, I have a pretty face, but what is the rest of me like a goddamn goblin? No.
Urd.
You heard it here first, people. Okay. Fashion tips.
Tits out. No.
No, really, Ally's like, okay, give me that look, but make it a little bit sluttier, and Ally probably likes it. Make the skirt a
What
little
am I
shorter.
like?
Alyssa,
Give me that look, but make it street kid 90s Gen Z.
she always wants to be able to turn up the casualness of a look. Like you seem to be more comfortable if the look has an element of casualness to it. And that can sometimes be street wear or whatever. And you like color.
I do like color.
You do
Yeah.
like
Bright
color.
colors. Yeah.
Oh, too bright?
Rebecca.
Well, listen,
No.
I would be nervous to wear like that dress you showed us the other day, the lime green one. That would be something I would shy away from because I don't tend to go towards color.
You have a chartreuse dress.
That's different than lime green.
Meanwhile, we would describe Rebecca as pinky up.
Pinky up always.
Yeah, like
Pinky
how
up
can I
always.
take a casual and make it a little fancier? I'm the opposite end of Alyssa. How can I take this and make it fancier to make me comfortable?
She's like, I'll wear a t-shirt with a skirt and heels.
Yeah, it really and not heels, honestly. But I think really
Platform.
fashion's all about playing around and just finding what you like and like lean into it. Don't be scared of it.
And I do want to just say, it's not so much that I'm like, oh, it just needs to be slutty. It's very much a freeing thing for me because I just used to cover. I used to hide behind my clothes. I used to hide behind. I just wanted to be invisible. And now it's like the less clothes I wear, the more visible I am to you. And I know that that's a big fuck you to a lot of people. And fuck you. And I'm hot, so it works out for me.
I'm only
No,
laughing because I'm
believe
like,
it.
who do you think is watching our episode?
Me.
It's not the people that pissed you.
HOTTOGO. That is Ally, and she's hot to go.
I'm our number one fan. I'll be watching this.
Is there any food you will not eat?
Yes.
Oh, girl.
Oh,
You want to go first?
I was gonna say,
The
let's let Alyssa go
silence.
first.
I mean, yeah, I will eat, but I will struggle the most with like handheld items, things that are gyros for some reason. Love them. They really intimidate me. Tacos are kind of the same thing. But things that I like will not eat. I will not eat something on my plate that actively still has eyeballs.
Alyssa, did you just say gyros?
Yeah.
Euros?
No, gyro.
All right.
I've literally never heard euro before unless we're talking about money.
Okay.
I was gonna say, okay, y'all down in the comments, let us know. Do you pronounce it gyro or euro? We're interested to hear.
How do you pronounce it, Rebecca?
Euro. But I loved how
Must
Alyssa
be
said
a
it with
southerner thing.
gyro.
It's a gyro.
It's not.
Let her
It
be gyro.
is.
Okay. All right. Moving on. I hate mushrooms. I will suffer through them if I have to. So maybe not that. I did have a thing when I was a kid. Now it's not so much anymore, but as a kid, I refused to eat anything that flew. Now that did not apparently count chickens and turkeys, but I rationalized that as they didn't go long distances. But anything, so no duck, no, I don't know, whatever else people eat that
I've
flies.
never had duck.
I'm not into anything that's like a gamey meat, which is like duck,
Yeah.
deer.
Well,
Honestly,
Deer.
I don't think. Okay.
yeah,
Those are things I won't eat.
No, I don't like deer. I think it's so gross.
yeah, I'm
Which
not.
I also feel sacrilegious to say in the South, but it just, I don't get it. Not for me. Not
I've never
for
even tried it.
I don't enjoy the flavor, and I tried it when I was young, but I'm like,
Oh my gosh, you know what I don't eat? And I didn't say this one's controversial.
what?
Ketchup. I do not eat ketchup. I hate the smell of it.
I don't think that's super controversial.
Lucky
is
agrees
sharp.
that ketchup is disgusting.
I don't think
It
it's
is sharp. I like
disgusting,
it.
but it's not in my like top 10 condiments at all. I would agree with you on that. Ketchup is not the greatest.
I hate it.
The thing that's like standing out to mind right now is I just went recently to eat with someone at a buffet, and like the buffet had like crawdads and like a whole fish on it. And seeing the way you had to open up the crawdads and like what was inside of it, that disgusted me.
No.
Grossed me out.
No. You've never had a crawdad? Okay. No.
Listen, I'm allergic to shrimp, so I'm gonna call I
Oh.
can't. Even though I can have crab and lobster, I'm just gonna say crawdad's closer to shrimp, so I can't do it. But what I saw inside of it made me grossed out. And then
It's
the
delicious.
whole fish with the bones and stuff.
Was
I'm
it like a
not.
flounder?
It was a tilapia, I believe.
Oh yeah, I hate tilapia.
I want my fish to bone and stuff. I don't want to pull it off of the bones.
Okay, but I'm telling you though, I went to this place in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and got this like platter, this massive platter of crawfish. I call them crawfish. But I think
They're all
that
the
is
same.
the more southern term, or like the term around here is crawdads. But I got this massive platter, and like me and my friend were just going in on these things. They were so good, and they're like, of course, they come in like that, like the Creole seasoning and the butter. Oh my god, they're so good.
This was at a Chinese buffet, so I don't know what the seasonings would have been on it,
All
but
right.
I didn't like what it looked like inside, and so that was enough for me to be like,
I'll
no.
give you that.
Mm-mm.
I'll give you that.
All right, so the next one's for me. I'm going to answer it quickly. Does Rebecca still stay in contact with Whitney Thor? And the answer is no. We filmed together, and that was basically it. That was the end of our relationship. Is just a filming relationship. Occasionally, I'll comment on her Instagram stuff she posts, and she might comment back. but that is that. We are not like friends. We've only known each other in really small doses. So not in contact with Whitney Thor. The next one's also for me. Someone want to know, is the plus size of me? Got it wrong. Single. And I can only make fun of this person because it's a guy. So he got it wrong and he asked if I was single. The answer is I'm not single. Now, I'm not like officially taken. I anticipate in the next week I'll be officially taken,
Oh, spicy.
but I'm not looking.
We're waiting for the promposal.
Yeah, I told him he had to like ask.
I love that.
No. He told me he was going to ask, but that he was scared I was going to say no. And I was like, I'm not going to say no, but you can't ask me now that you just told me you were scared to ask me. So now you had to ask me another time.
That's so cute. Lola, it's okay.
So just know I give fear to everyone around me,
Period.
Not just her best friend.
not just restaurants. Yeah. All right. What's the favorite place you've traveled and one place on your bucket list?
Favorite place I have traveled, Ovindoli, Italy. Tiny town on top of a mountain. And I got to visit the house where my grandfather grew up, and my family still lives there. And just being able to like go to the church that my like great grandparents got married in. Like it was just really cool. Like there was just a lot of Koya family history in
Yeah.
Ovindoli. And my I guess my long distant cousin or whatever, she like owned the only pizzeria in town and like shut it down. Yeah, award-winning pizzeria actually. She like shut it down, taught us how to make pizza. It was like the most amazing thing ever. I've never had such delicious pizza in my entire life.
What's your favorite place you've traveled? We'll get to the bucket list in a minute. Allie.
I feel like this is gonna. No, I don't think it's gonna sound lame. I just think it might be surprising. But it might sound a little lame, but whatever. I'm gonna say Chicago. And it's not just because James is there. It might be a fraction because James is there, but I have just like, I don't know. I feel like I've been to a lot of different places, and Chicago was one of the first places that felt like it felt like a very adult trip for me. Like, like this was the first place that I like flew by myself for like an extended period of time. Like before that, I think my only solo flight was like 45 minutes. Like this was the first place that like I flew by myself for an extended period of time, like navigated the airport by myself. Like it just felt like a very grown-up thing to do, and navigated the city by myself. Then obviously got to spend time with James, but like got to have amazing food and just got to see like a whole new part of the country, a whole new different like, I don't know, a whole new different everything. Because my whole life, all I'd ever done was like travel up and down the East Coast. And then I've been to Israel and Poland. I'm a big fan of Israel right now. So it was not the coolest thing I've ever done. And Poland was sad because I just went to concentration camps. So yeah, Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because the location that's like coming to mind right now is actually one I only spent an afternoon in. I went out to California and we spent an afternoon up in Laguna Beach, which is like,
Nice.
I don't know. I watched Laguna Beach as a teenager for MTV, so I had this like major like vision in mind. But it's truly like it's cliffside beaches there. It's so gorgeous. You have to like go down the sides of the cliffs and they have a little beach area, and like at high tide there's no beach there, and I think it's one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen, and we did not have enough time to spend there, and I would love to go back. It really stood out to me. And then if I think about like other vacations, um I remember as a high schooler going down to um Isle of Palms in Georgia. Or is Isle of Palms South Carolina or Georgia?
South Carolina. Yeah.
Isle of Palms in South Carolina, because that's right, it's right near Charleston.
Yeah.
And that was a really beautiful place to be, like a beautiful beach, and it was near Charleston. We went on like ghost tours and stuff like that, and I remember really enjoying that vacation. I actually haven't traveled to a bunch of places, or if I've traveled, it's been for events. Like I've gone to New York City multiple times. I've gone to Boston, but they've
Yeah.
all conferences or events. So I'm spending a lot of time at the events and only getting little bits of a place. So I definitely want to do like more travel where it's not just to go to a conference or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
Bucket list place.
Thailand.
Ooh.
I've always wanted to go like to London, and I realize it's a very English speaking, like not that it's different, but not that different. But like I need to
Okay.
have a whole Harry Potter trip. I know J.K. Rowling, but I need to have a whole Harry Potter trip and see all the sites and go to like the little villages as well as London. I need that at some point in my life.
I love that. I'm obviously gonna say Italy. I just want to eat my way through all the pasta in Italy.
Mhm.
So yeah, Italy.
I'll go.
I
I'll
love
go.
that question.
Thailand scares me just because of how long the plane ride would be. But
Yeah, same. Would I love to go? Like, I want to go to Tokyo. I want to go to
I'd love to go to
Thailand.
Japan.
Hmm.
I want to go. Yeah, like I do want to go. Hell yeah, I want to go with you, Alyssa. But God, those flights, man, terrified. I'm
I,
terrified to go to Italy.
I literally would have to be drugged to do the travel. Like someone just moved my body for me. I don't want to be aware of what's happening.
No,
Yeah,
me
I
either.
do want to do China and Taiwan too. We have some family and friends over there. Not family, but like family friends over in China, people that I like grew up around, and they've always come to visit us, but we never went to go visit them in China, and I would do.
My dog's crying.
He's not happy.
It's 6 o'clock, so it's dinner time. Um, Someone asked a question about whether or not we'd be willing to share our current size. How do we feel about that?
Oh,
And I think it's
The
okay to just
question.
share how we feel about it. You know, we don't actually have to answer the question.
Yeah, okay. So I think that the way that the question was worded was both respectful and um I understand that this person is genuinely curious. Um, but I also think the question was a little bit of a generalization to say that uh you know the to say that the whole community isn't triggered by numbers is I do think a generalization. There are people in the community that are triggered by numbers.
Let me just say what the comment was so people know what you're
Sure.
talking about. It said, not a troll. Genuinely wish you ladies would share your current weight or size so I can relate. Numbers matter to a lot of us in the community. It shouldn't be negative or triggering to share. Thanks for listening. Love
mm,
the podcast and following all of you. Yeah, and the truth is it is triggering in certain ways.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah, I think it is. I think there's and I think it's very nuanced. I think it's triggering in a lot of different ways for a lot of different people. And I think to say it shouldn't be triggering is invalidating. And I understand, I don't think there was any harm meant there. But I think you have to go a few levels deeper to understand that just because it's not triggering to you, it could be triggering to somebody else. So I don't I don't see the value in sharing weight. I don't see the value in sharing those kind of numbers. I do see value in sharing sizes if that's asked of us, because I also I enjoy following. You know, I do enjoy following fashion content creators who say, "Hey, this is the size that I wear." Um, if I like their style, um, so that I can, if I happen to want to buy something that they're advertising, I guess I say, okay, great, that's going to fit me because that's the size that I wear, right? So no, I don't think it's. I can see value in us sharing our sizes, and I think we have before, but I do not see. Um, I don't see where it would
yeah.
be helpful for us to share our weight.
Yeah, this came up in one of our earliest episodes, and we as a group, I had shared that in group sessions, like we have a rule, like no numbers, like no number talk. And it's so people don't play a game. I 100% see value in sharing clothing size, right? I think there's so much value there, and I could probably get behind that. But I don't even I'm gonna share this. I feel like people might feel a type of way, but I don't know my weight. I don't get on the scale anymore at the doctor's office, unless they need to for a surgery or for medication, and I have specific verbiage around it not being accessible in my chart at all. So like I don't want to see a number period, because I will 100% play a numbers game. So um yeah, I yeah, I feel very strongly on that.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing to say is like all three of us have tried on the same garment of clothes and it fits us in all three different ways. And
Yeah.
it's the same piece of clothing, you know. So even if we all do wear the same size, the clothes don't fit us the same. Our shapes make a big difference in how they lay. I literally gave Allie a swimsuit today because I'm like, this works for you so much better than me. Because I feel like my torso is kind of long and like things do not fit me well, even though that technically is the same size. Like I need that exact same size. I just feel like it doesn't look right on me. It pulls too much because of my torso. Not that I even could tell that I have a longer torso than Allie. I don't know. It just seems to fit her better. So I think yeah, I think even we could literally do an episode or a reel where we're all trying on the same garment in the same size and it still would fit us all differently even though it's the same size.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
and sometimes the opposite. Sometimes you have a size that's smaller that I wouldn't have grabbed, and it's too big on you and it fits me perfectly, or you know, it fits you, it doesn't fit me. I feel like sometimes there's like weird, like even if we're wearing the same size stuff, it doesn't necessarily like yeah.
Absolutely. Especially
Yeah.
with jeans, like I need a different shaped jean than someone else might need, you know? So like size is helpful to a certain degree. I agree it's most helpful though when trying to figure out if I want to buy the same thing. And so I
Yeah.
would suggest if you are curious about our size, if it's something that like you see us wear something and you want to purchase it, that might be a good time to privately ask like, hey, what size did you get? And if we feel comfortable sharing, we would.
Yeah. I actually think that's a great way. I
Yeah.
feel like I would feel so comfortable with that.
And
Yeah.
some people are comfortable putting it out on the actual post itself. And I would say if the information isn't there already, a DM is better than nothing. A DM is probably the next step to do that is respectful. Not everyone responds to DMs, but there might be a reason. There might be a reason they're not responding about sizing. And so I think it's just letting people share what they want to share and knowing that like again, like a size 24 can look different on every single body. So
I think another thing is too is like we could we could say our size, and also sizes are bullshit and everybody knows that. Like I did a video at Alyssa's house the other day with 3 different pieces from Old Navy, and one of them was literally a straight size that I don't wear. I do not wear. Do you see these boobs? I do not wear straight sizes. Okay, so sizing is bullshit. So even if we told you what our size was, sizing is bullshit. It would not be the same across the board. So it is more like it's more nuanced than that, right? If you see something we're wearing and you like it, then ask about that specific piece. But I don't exactly know, and I'm not trying to be combative or anything, but I don't exactly know how you can how not how you commenter, but I don't exactly know how just knowing our size um is what's going to get you to relate to us. I think you can look at us and you can hear our stories, and if we relate to you, that's great. But
yeah. It invites in a lot of comparison, and that's where it leads to
yeah.
really negative actions. All right, so the next question, how did we meet?
So I went to I was away at Renfrew for residential. And while I was away, I learned how important community was to me. So when I came back, I was like, no, I need fat friends. And I never felt that way before. So I was in my like neighborhood page for like the area in which I am in, and I saw Allie posted. So I messaged Allie and I was like, hey, I think you're a really pretty fat girl. And do you want to be my friend? And Allie was like, oh my God, I think you're a really pretty fat girl. And I said, why are you lying to my face? That's not a way you start a
Oh
friendship.
my God.
No, but me and Allie had met up. We did it really casual. We brought our hubbies with us. So we had our like, you know, safety nets at the time. And we had dinner and Allie was like, oh my God, you need to come join CLT Plus. And I said, oh my God, I've been looking for a plus size group. And she was like, I got you. So, and then I joined the plus size group and that's where I met Rebecca. And then the rest was history.
Yeah, and actually the first time I met Alyssa, it was probably months later that we actually hung out. Because the first event you went to was Old Mech Brewery. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of people there. I didn't get to talk to you very much. And it wasn't until you got involved as a organizer that I talked to you more. Yeah.
So
Um,
true.
yeah, and then me and Allie met through Charlotte Plus as well. At that point, I had just started Charlotte Plus. We were just having, I think, our second event.
Yeah.
And Allie had seen it online somehow and came out. And I pretty much knew right away I liked her. I mean, like, she was talking, and quite frankly, like, I do consider myself a repressed fat girl in terms of like sexuality. And Allie was just like laying it all out there, and I was like,
Yeah, Allie is not that. And good for her.
yeah. And like our first event was PG-13 because we were at a food hall, but the second event she came to was specifically a sex and relationship event. And at that event, we already were like, okay, let's go to the event and then let's go to dinner afterwards with some other friends. But, like, that got us to talking more, and then also that. But I think for all of us, the closeness started around November last year is when we
Yeah.
really started hanging out a lot with each other and having really deep conversations. And that's what really pushed us. We were like, oh my gosh, these conversations are fueling us so much.
That night at Bad Daddy's.
Right.
Yeah, it really
gotta
was
stop.
that night at Bad Daddy's. I was like, guys, what are we doing?
Yeah.
We keep
we
saying it. We need to do it.
Yep.
we kept having these really amazing conversations together, and everything felt like the best conversation we'd ever had. And so it was like, okay, yeah, so I love you guys so much as friends, and can I also love you as podcasters? Can we do this?
Can we start a company together?
Yeah. And I always work solo, so I was like, but it's been great. It's been great. You know, like, I really think it was the push I needed. So that's how we met.
What a cute, what a
Let me
meet
tell
cute.
you about my best friend.
How can those of us who are not plus size do better at supporting the plus size community?
Oh, I love this question, and I'm still learning how to answer it in a really direct way. I think the best thing I have right now is advocating for inclusive spaces, accessible spaces for seating, anything like that. And don't shop with brands that don't have plus sizes. Shop with brands that carry plus sizes, period.
In terms of, if you see content creators do stuff, just know that plus size folks, especially the plus size folks on the higher end of the plus size spectrum, do not get as much support from companies or whatever. So support them when and where it feels right to do so. That might just mean following and engaging with their content. It might mean sharing. And if you see a brand working with them, like, I know a lot of people get kind of like, ugh, partnerships or whatever, collaborations, but just know, like, it's good for brands to diversify who is representing them. Like, if we actually, I know like capitalism isn't like the funnest thing in the world, and we can feel icky about people making money off their content.
And we have to pay our bills.
Yeah, that, but also if we think about the other coin, it means a company is widening who they are thinking of in terms of representing their brand, and widening who they want to receive the message. That means they're actively
Yep.
seeking out plus size audiences. And I do think we need to celebrate that and encourage it, because it's very easy for a lot of brands to ignore us. But I think what Alyssa said, and I also just think, like, we fit under so much of the accessibility minded stuff to begin with. So, like, if you are doing that at work in the communities that you're in, if you're thinking about people's access financially, socially, physically, then you are, just remember fat people in that group as you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with all of those things. I also because I have that little rage monster in me, advocate for your fat friends in other spaces too. If you see someone being shitty to a fat person, stand up for your fat friends. Like, we heard on our podcast the other day, we had an amazing guest who had McDonald's thrown at his face. Even if he's not your fat friend, turn around and tell that person that they're wrong for doing that, right? Don't get yourself hurt, but it's not okay. Bullying fat people is not okay. So if you see something, say something.
Say something.
Yeah. And someone
That's a really great addition, Allie.
Someone
Thanks.
commented that they've tried to tell their family that stuff was happening and they weren't believed. So believe them when they tell you that this stuff is happening and that it affects their life. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't invalidate them by just being like, well, just eat less, run more.
Yeah.
No.
Maeve's now playing with my bedroom door. They really they're really
they've really been doing the most tonight.
It's dinner time. They're pissed at me. Okay. Any meetups in real life and in another city? Well, we definitely are doing more Charlotte Plus stuff. We don't have any future ones planned at this very moment, but that's just because school is starting back for me. We will get up and going with future events. We would love to come to other cities and do events there. It's simply a matter of like financial support to do so. Like
That's a question. Like, would you guys
yeah.
would you guys pay like, I don't know, $25 for a ticket if we were to be like, hey guys, we're going to travel to Dallas, we're going to travel to Philadelphia, like wherever you guys are, wherever our Fab Fatty listeners, viewers are, if we were to be like $25 a ticket just for us to come and be able to meet up and have these conversations with you in real time, would you guys pay for that? I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah. We've talked over and over again about doing a Fab Fatties on the road and like hitting up different cities and doing cool stuff. It's just purely can we afford to do so? Because we have other responsibilities, and we have to pay our bills, and I wish again, I always wish for independent wealth that like I didn't need to work to pay my bills, but fortunately that life is not for me.
I'm gonna go
And
billionaire.
we're building and we're growing, right? Like we're building, we're growing, we're seeing what the future looks like. It might not be today, tomorrow, or next month, but hey, who knows where we'll be in a year from now. We absolutely want to get out and meet the community and do the work, on the ground with our feet in the weeds with you guys, meeting people, supporting the community, and doing the work together. Period.
We have the infrastructure. We're there.
Yeah. Guys, this was fun. I think we should do our episodes so I could do them from my couch more often.
I was gonna say, you're doing the lie down that you did that one episode, but like it works this time.
Yeah, it does. Well, because I can zoom in and you don't have to see me like laying like this. I'm tired.
Yeah, I feel like we should just do one last question. And there's a couple different ones. Like one's asking about music, what do we like to collect, favorite hobbies, and one's asking about what guests we would like to have on future. And I feel like the guest one could be cool to end on, or we could talk about I don't know.
I think we should do what we want to collect. I feel like that's such a unique one.
I work definitely breezing by the one that asked how tall I am. I feel like that's super important.
You did get a specific request about your height.
I'm short. That's all you need to know. I'm short.
Heard.
Can y'all hear my cat?
No. I'm not there.
Well, I didn't know if
you were invited, ma'am. You were invited.
I know.
All right.
My groceries are here.
Besides clothing, because they do know that I collect clothing. Besides clothing, what do you collect?
Okay, I do collect playbills. So for like I'm not gonna say every show I've ever seen, but like in my adult life when I was like, I'm a theater kid. Every show I went to go see on Broadway, I pretty much stage doored. So I have binders full of every program with the cast I saw signed it. So I feel like that's my little collection.
I love that. I used to keep all the playbills from all the plays I went to go see. I love that, little theater kids together.
Yeah.
Trauma. What?
My therapist is working on that one.
I collect trauma. What do I collect? I don't really collect anything anymore. I used to, um, for me, it was similar to like playbills. I mean, I did collect all those when I was a kid, but then it kind of progressed into concerts. So I would always take my wristbands from concerts. Um, I had a pretty impressive collection of wristbands, especially when Tremont was still open here in Charlotte. I love Tremont. Um, yeah. Oh, I guess little panda stuff now.
I wonder why.
Well, that
Love. When I was young, I collected antique keys. That's why I have
Ooh.
that's my only tattoo is an antique key. But as an adult, the only thing that the only thing I can think of that I do collect is little figurines of dogs and cats in costumes. Like they have little Halloween costumes. I love them, and dogs and cats. And so I do collect those. I know I know what you're doing, Allie. And I specifically have a good collection of Halloween ones because I think those come out the most.
just little trinkets in general.
Yeah, little cute animals doing cute animals doing human things. That's what I
love that. I collect one other thing, and I wasn't going to say it because I think it's a little cheesy, but I collect the souvenir pennies wherever I go. Like, you know how you could do the pressed penny machines?
Oh, that's cute.
For some reason, I did it when I was a kid, and it just stuck. So now when I go places, I get to
wait. But you want to hear something really morbid and fucked up, though?
Always.
I know. There's one of those machines at Auschwitz.
Oh, no, thank you. That made me sad.
I know. I literally was horrified. Okay. Bringing it back to when I was talking about being in Poland. Okay. We went to these concentration camps, literally at Auschwitz. They have a penny pressing machine. I'm like, what fucking is this?
That actually upsets me so much that I'd actually feel obligated to do it. You know?
Honestly, Alyssa, I think out of anyone in the world that would do it, that I wouldn't be mad at, it would be you. Just for that reason alone.
I'm crying. I'd be feeling my feelings.
No, just for that reason alone, that you're like, I feel so awful that they put it there that I would just do it. That checks out for who you are as a person, and I love that.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? All right, guys. I gotta sign off because my groceries just got delivered. And that's Lucky telling me to go get my groceries.
Well, we hope you all enjoyed this little holdover episode. We'll be back with a normal episode next week because Alyssa, we are recording, baby.
Wait, we're fat.
Oh, we're fab.
We're friends.
And now we're saying goodbye.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.